Happy Wednesday hump day. Crypto fam, what's good? Make some noise in the live comments right down below. In today's show, Bitcoin cracks $28,000 on CPI amid a warning of U.S. inflation, highly elevated, and quoting the president of El Salvador, Nayib Bukele, the fiat guys at JP Morgan Chase say El Salvador is finally getting some credit. They're just now catching up. It will be soon. Salvadoran bonds are now investment grade. You'll see. And Max responded, El Salvador debt free by 2030. He also goes on to share, as we predicted, it's unfolding exactly per the script we wrote 12 years ago. 2023 will be 10 times worse than 2028. Max is always right, quoting Bukele. Also in today's show, Bitcoin trading up 80% at DBS Bank due to the crypto crashes in 2022, says executive, as well as Bitcoin under siege by BRC20 coins as the fees continue to soar, claims analysts. We'll also be discussing Grayscale expanding their ETF business, putting forward 3 new crypto funds, as well as push to launch American CBDC will drive feverish interest into Bitcoin, says MicroStrategies. Michael Saylor will also be discussing Bitcoin gearing up for a parabolic rip, says crypto trader Credible Crypto. I'll be sharing his optimistic target. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this plus so much more in today's show. Welcome everyone just tuning in. This is pod episode number 1277. I'm your host JV. Today is May 10th, 2023. And as you can see here in the market watch, we got the entire market pumping off the back of the CPI data, with Bitcoin up 2.3% for the day, trading back above $28,100. Ether up 1.5%, just shy of 1,900. And as you can see, Cardano, BNB, XRP, all pumping and in the green. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, the current crypto market cap, sitting at $1.1 trillion, and we have 35 billion in volume in the past 24 hours, with the Bitcoin dominance back on the rise at 47.1% and the Ether dominance at 19.5%. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers in the past 24 hours, Kava leading the pack, up 11%, trading just under 89 cents, followed by Terra Classic up 9%, trading at 0.00009, followed by Render Token up 8%, trading at $1.86. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers for the past week, finally have the alts, the majority, back in the green. We have Kava up 10.5%, Luna Classic up 9.5%, and just a handful in the red, including STX and FTT and Bitcoin Cash. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, one of my favorite indicators, we're back to neutral at a 52. Yesterday was a 51, last week a 64, and last month a 62 in greed. So there you have it. How many of you are enjoying this pump? Let me know in the comments below, and welcome to everyone just tuning in. Now let's dive into today's Bitcoin technical analysis, shall we? And check out the charts. Bitcoin ticked higher around May 10th Wall Street Open as the U.S. inflation data beat expectations, which you can see here in the Bitcoin 1-hour candle chart. Data from Cointelegraph Market Support and Trading View showed Bitcoin responding instantly to the April Consumer Price Index print, up 1.7% on the day. Bitcoin saw local highs at 28.3 on Bitstamp before consolidating immediately above the 28,000 mark. CPI had come in at a 4.9% year on year, a shade below the expected 5%. This gave a clear signal that U.S. inflation was continuing to decrease. Sure. One more in line with predictions from both the Federal Reserve and external sources, including Lynn Alden. Headline CPI for April came in at 4.9% this morning, which continues the disinflationary trend, as she outlines. Now the Fed's data dependency kicks off well. Strong jobs data and now inflation is expected. Pause in June at this stage. Financial commentator Ted's Talk Macro wrote in a Twitter response. Ted's Talk Macro referenced the impact of CPI and other economic data on Fed interest rate policy, which markets already are expecting a pause in rate hikes next month. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Fed Chairman Jerome Powell had repeatedly stated that such data prints dictated policy to a significant degree. A rate hike pause would constitute a boon for risk assets, including crypto, as slackening financial conditions should increase investor appetite for risk. And data from the CME Group's FedWatch tool, as you can see here, showed market expectations of June past jumping from 80 to 9% on their CPI. And while Bitcoin and alts made modest gains, investment research platform Game of Trades warned that the day's CPI numbers showed that the U.S. economy was not yet out of the woods. Quoting him here, the decrease in inflation is mainly driven by the flexible part of the CPI. The sticky part still remains extremely elevated. And prior to the CPI release, on-chain analytics resource Material Indicators was eyeing the Binance order book composition for future Bitcoin price clues, noting reducing volume near the current spot price adds that bids were attempting to protect the integrity of the 200-week moving average of just above 26,000. Quoting him here, remember that liquidity dampens the volatility. Fire chart shows some decent bid liquidity protecting technical support at the 200-week moving average. The upside is currently has less volume near the active trading range. So there you have it. And as you can see here, Bitcoin has traded above the 200-week moving average since mid-March. Numbers and charts don't lie. And I love this tweet from Najib Bukele. He was sharing this. El Salvador finally getting some credit with Fitch upgrading their rating to a CCC plus from a CC. So Bukele wrote, the fiat guys at JP Morgan Chase say El Salvador is finally getting some credit. They're just now catching up. It will be soon. Salvadoran bonds are now investment grade. You will see. And Max reminds us that El Salvador will be debt free by 2030 and says, as we predicted, referring to himself and Stacey Herbert, it's unfolding exactly per the script we wrote 12 years ago. 2023 will be 10 times worse than 2008. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the high priest of Bitcoin. Now let's discuss trading going up overseas. That's right. In fact, it's up over 80% on this exchange. Check it. Singapore government-owned mega bank DBS is amongst the few companies around the world that reap major benefits from the massive crypto collapse of 2022. DBS, which is digital exchange, their bank institutional crypto trading platform, saw a significant increase in Bitcoin trading volumes last year. According to the DBS digital exchange CEO, the number of DBS crypto clients more than doubled in 2022 compared with the previous year. Quoting them here, Bitcoin trading volumes grew 80% at the digital exchange during the same period. The executive believes that the spike in demand for crypto services at the DBS digital exchange is a consequence of crypto exchange collapses from last year. He also noted that DBS continues seeing a growing trend in volumes. Quoting him again, DBS continues to benefit from the flight to safety and quality following the implosion of several exchanges last year. And also the head of digital assets at DBS Bank told Cointelegraph that DBS has seen more cooperation inquiries from digital asset and blockchain firms from recent months. Launched in 2020, DBS Crypto Exchange serves exclusively institutional investors. Let's go institutional adoption. Despite considering the expanding services to retail customers last year, DBS continues to be a members-only exchange serving corporate and institutional investors as of May 2023. Now, FTX is one of the biggest crypto exchanges that subsided in 2022, and before FTX collapsed in November, that platform traded a significant amount of crypto coming from institutional investors. In March of 2022, FTX launched a dedicated unit working with institutions, and at the time, about 2/3 of trading volumes on FTX and FTX US were reportedly coming from institutional accounts. Now, while indicating a positive impact from crypto exchange crashes in 2022, DBS Exchange CEO sees no influence coming from the ongoing banking crisis of the United States. Quoting him here, some of our market makers sought new USD banking rails following the collapse of the crypto-friendly US banks. However, there has been no direct impact on DBS Crypto Exchange, he noted, and shared the following. The collapse of the US banks has not impacted our product and service pipeline, and that said, we keep a close watch on these developments and are prepared to adjust our plans if necessary. And while being a crypto-friendly bank itself, DBS is not worried about any risks allegedly stemming from its crypto exposure. Quoting the CEO again, DBS does not rehypothecate or trade digital assets in clients' custody, and as such, there is no liquidity risk. Our clients' digital assets are in custody with DBS, separate from the DBS digital exchange. So there you have it. All I know is this. Trading up 80%, institutional adoption. On the cusp, once we get a spot Bitcoin ETF in the United States, there's literally trillions just awaiting on the sidelines that can spike the Bitcoin price to the moon and beyond. So let's freaking go, which takes us to our next story of the day. We're going to be discussing BRC20 ordinals congesting the Bitcoin blockchain. Then we'll dive into Grayscale's new ETFs, as well as Sailor on CBDCs from a recent interview. And then I'll dive into a very bullish price prediction from Credible Crypto before we wrap up with some live Q&A. So let's discuss Bitcoin under siege. Increased fees and a backlog of transactions are besieging the Bitcoin network, and it's due to a popular new token standard, according to crypto quant analysts. Now, Axel Adler Jr., an analyst at the crypto data firm, explained on May 9th that BRC20 meme coin minting on the Bitcoin blockchain is causing the surge in block space demand. Quoting him here, unlike conventional token standards such as Ethereum's ERC20, the BRC20 does not utilize smart contracts and operates only with wallets supporting the Bitcoin blockchain. And according to Crypto Quant, the average fee per transaction has skyrocketed, exceeding $16 and peaking at $29 on May 9th, as pointed out right here by Crypto Quant. And data from BitInfo Chart similarly reported a spike in the average transaction fees, recording a jump to $31 on May 8th compared to around $19 the day prior. On May 8th, the total fees per block temporarily exceeded the block subsidy reward of 6.25 Bitcoin for the first time since 2017. And on May 9th, BitInfo Chart data recorded a new all-time high on the 7-day moving average for the number of Bitcoin transactions, hitting a top of 534,000. Like, whoa. However, that figure could actually be higher than that, with BitInfo Charts recording two higher spikes of over 600,000 daily transactions this month using raw values. And on May 9th, it recorded 598,000 Bitcoin blockchain transactions. As Matty Greenspan shares here, love them or hate them, ordinals are definitely shaking things up. The number of transactions on the Bitcoin blockchain reached a new all-time high yesterday of 534,000. Now, blockchain.com has confirmed the data, reporting that the average transactions per block also hit an all-time high of 3,778, as outlined right here. And according to Mempool Space, there are currently 400,000 unconfirmed transactions pending on the network, so the backlog is not clearing, which is keeping the transaction prices elevated. Then on May 9th, the total market cap of BRC20 tokens surpassed $1 billion. The problem had gotten so bad that Bitcoin Core developers are mulling taking action against BRC20 tokens and ordinals, which they consider as network spam. As Ryan points out here, Bitcoin Core devs want to kill ordinals and BRC20s. Miners likely want to double down on ordinals and BRC20s to increase fees and the value of the private meme pools. Ordinals and BRC20 holders want the right to exist and pursue growth. This is a civil war. Now, furthermore, the number of ordinal inscriptions almost doubled, going from 2.5 million to almost 5 million in just over a week. It is all good news for miners, though, as profitability or hash price has surged 66% from the beginning of the month. So what are your thoughts on BRC20 tokens and these ordinals and the congestion of the Bitcoin blockchain? Let me know how you feel in the comments below. And at the end of the show, I'll be reading everyone's comments out loud. Now let's dive into the latest with Grayscale and their 3 new ETFs. 3 new crypto-focused exchange-traded funds have been put forward for approval by the crypto asset manager Grayscale, which also announced a new entity to manage its growing funds. Let's freaking go. On May 9th, Grayscale said it launched a new arm of its business, the Grayscale Funds Trust, allowing it to manage many of its publicly traded financial products all in-house. And in addition to the new trust, Grayscale revealed it filed a registration statement with the US SEC for 3 new crypto-focused ETFs, despite the previous roadblocks from the regulator over crypto-related ETFs. Now, the new funds are an Ethereum futures ETF, a global Bitcoin composite ETF, and a privacy ETF. The Global Bitcoin Composite ETF would invest in exchange-traded products that are related or backed by Bitcoin, including Bitcoin mining farms, and firms. Similarly, the Ethereum Futures ETF would allow an indirect exposure to the potential future value of Ether by the way of shares that track the Ether price, and the Grayscale Privacy ETF would invest in companies working on blockchain-based privacy technology. The filing explains, as outlined right here on Crypto Twitter. Now, until the registration statement relating to the Grayscale Funds Trust is approved by the SEC, none of the 3 ETFs will be available for public purchase. The announcement comes as Grayscale is still entangled in an ongoing conflict with the SEC over converting its $17 billion Grayscale Bitcoin Trust into a spot Bitcoin ETF product. On January 13th, Grayscale sued the regulator for denying its application, arguing that the SEC acted indiscriminately in treating crypto spot traded exchange traded products differently from future products. And they make a great point. Quoting them here, there is a 99.9% correlation between prices in the Bitcoin futures market and the spot Bitcoin market, said Grayscale. And while the SEC had approved the number of Bitcoin futures ETFs, which exposed buyers to the potential future value of the King crypto, it has also so far rejected every single application for a spot Bitcoin investment product, citing concerns about exposing investors, potential fraud, and market manipulation. I think personally, this is all by design. We have no clarity, Gary, over at the SEC as the chairman. purposely not wanting any clarity to create that doubt and uncertainty in the market so they can manipulate the values of the cryptos to the best of their abilities. But I think it is inevitable, and eventually a spot Bitcoin ETF will finally be approved in the United States. And once it is, let's freaking go. You already know, fam, Bitcoin to the moon. Now let's discuss the latest interview Michael Saylor had with Valuetainment. I watched the majority of it last night. It was like 2 hours long. Excellent interview, by the way. Now for some of the highlights, and then I'll be breaking down this very optimistic Bitcoin price prediction from Credible Crypto. So how many of you actually watched this interview with Michael Saylor? Let me know. The co-founder of MicroStrategy, Saylor, is detailing his thoughts on the potential launch of CBDCs in the United States. In the interview with Valuetainment, Saylor says concerns about the potential pitfalls of the digital dollar, including mass surveillance of how people spend their money, will drive an intense level of interest in the world's largest decentralized crypto asset, Bitcoin. Quoting Saylor here, interest in CBDCs is just going to drive more feverish interest into Bitcoin. It is actually driving awareness, and Bitcoin is growing as people become more aware that they need something that is a non-sovereign store of values that's nation-state resistant. I am sure the overwhelming majority of the population is adamantly against CBDCs, and I would say a decent majority of politicians are against it, but there is a fringe wing that wants to impose control over everybody, and they don't just trust anybody. Heck, at some point, they would probably like to see you spend $50, and that's the control freaks in the political sphere. Saylor says he doubts that politicians will come to a consensus on a US CBDC in the near term, and he expects a massive congressional fight over the issue. And in addition, from a technical standpoint, Saylor questions how long it will take the government to figure out how to actually create a digital version of the dollar. But as the technology moves closer to becoming a reality, he believes that more people will recognize the government and private sector's ability to control cash and make it difficult for people to freely spend their capital. Quoting Saylor again, money is a store of value, a unit of account, a medium of exchange. And then there is a fourth characteristic that we don't talk about. It's the thing that is not said. It's a system, a control. Certain monies are easier to control than others. For example, we talk about gold as money. Have you ever tried to carry a gold bar through the airport? Very heavy. Try it next time. They won't let you get through. In fact, if you try to carry $100,000 of gold to an airport, not only would you not get through, but the assumption would be that you're a criminal and that you stole the gold, and they would just take it and keep it without a court order. Now try to carry $100,000 of cash to the airport. You ever try that? Put it in a bag, and as you're walking through the TSA check or the x-ray machine, just nonchalantly say to the officer, yeah, I'm carrying $100,000 of money onto the airplane. You will not get through. Not only will you not get through, they'll just take your money. They'll just take it, and the assumption will be you stole it. So cash is a unit of control. I like Bitcoin for the same reason the Chinese don't like it. They can't control it. Nobody can control Bitcoin. So if you're insecure about being able to own your own money, do you own it? And can you actually still use it without asking for somebody's permission? Then the solution is not gold. It's not silver coins. It's not stacks of cash. It is not money in a bank in the United States. It's certainly not money in a bank in Lebanon, Argentina, or anywhere in Africa. Those banks won't let you take your money. Go look at Nigeria. You can only withdraw $42 a day. That's how much you can take out of the bank. They're keeping your money. So the one network you have that gives you a decent chance of owning your own money and being able to spend it in the way that you want is Bitcoin. Touche. He hit the nail on the head. Massive shout out to Michael Saylor. And as we all know, just say no to CBDCs and go along with Bitcoin, as Bitcoin is the antidote to the central bank digital currencies. And now for this optimistic price prediction from Credible Crypto. Let's break it down. Closely followed analyst believes the Bitcoin's recent price doldrums are setting the stage for the King Crypto to go parabolic and a surge. In a new video, he tells his 340,000 Twitter followers Bitcoin is likely in the phase of creating a base for a parabolic rip. Send it. Let's freaking go. According to Credible, Bitcoin could correct to as low as 25,000 and still be in a position to ignite the next stage of its parabolic rally. Quoting the analyst here alongside this chart, the biggest consolidations, the slowest ascension to the upside, happens at the base of these parabolas. Don't expect these types of consolidations to occur once we start moving up to $30,000, $40,000, or $50,000. It is going to be swift. It's going to be aggressive. It's going to be faster than most are expecting, and it's probably going to catch a lot of people off guard. That's right. And in this chart, it outlines the Bitcoin price soaring on up to $102,000. Let's freaking go, especially with the Bitcoin halving now less than a year away. Credible predicts that Bitcoin will likely consolidate in a narrow trading range for the next 2 months before erupting to new all-time highs. Full send, quitting him again. We're in May right now, but July, 2 months max, we should be on our way up again and expect another move like this, 19.3 to 30,000. That should take us to the 40,000s. And again, don't expect such deep consolidations at that point. By the time we're at 40,000 or $50,000, nothing is stopping us from going to new all-time highs if we get this high. We are not stopping here. We'll be at new all-time highs before you know it, and certainly before 2024, in my opinion. So there you have it. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the crypto analyst, and do you feel we're likely to reach new all-time highs by 2024 at the latest? Holla at your boy. And with that being shared, fam, welcome to each and every one of you just joining and in the live chat. I appreciate each and every one of your supports, and let's dive into this live chat. I'm going to scroll all the way to the top. Appreciate you, Mark G, Jim Hewitt, Don Labrie, Larry Hollingshed, Digital Dankness, Jay Bull, Jeff S, Chill, Megadon, Bring Facts, Alan Haley, Bitcoin Maximus, was good to the crypto crew. Alan Haley says $102,000 equals a Puerto Rico party. That's right. We're going to have a celebration here in Puerto Rico once the price action surpasses 100,000. And guess what? You're all invited. How many of you are realistically going to be joining us? Let us know in the comments right down below. And I cannot wait. I appreciate you tuning in. Savage NFT, always a pleasure, fam. Let's get it. How are you today? I am doing fantastic. Appreciate you asking. Dankness, Satwatch Janks in the building. Good to see you, fam. Evan Rivero, good to see you as well. Appreciate you tuning in, supporting the movement. It is good stuff. Dankness, learn what you can, make a business so you're in the shade, telling others how to be amazing as you are when you had to do all the work. Yeah, referring to Evan Rivero working on the roof. Got to do what you got to do to stack them stats. No excuses, much respect. Yeah, in San Diego, it's just as hot. Hundreds in the summer. Yeah, I've lived in California. I've lived in Florida. I've lived in, obviously, where I'm at in Puerto Rico. I've lived in Costa Rica. I've lived all around the world. And I must say, Florida's humidity is probably the worst, but I love the hot weather. Hence why I'm in Puerto Rico. It's just as hot here in Puerto Rico as is in Florida. And I remember how hot it would get in California as well. But the big difference, after the sun came out, the sunset, it would get cool in the evenings in California. That's the massive difference, whereas it's just strictly hot. Even in Florida, typically in the evenings, and also here in Puerto Rico. That's my experience. Let me know what you guys think. True inspiration, much love and much respect. Jeff S., I appreciate you. That's right, Bitcoin to the moon. We have the halvening event, which should be set to occur 11 months from now, which is ultimately April of 2024. That's right, only 11 more months to go. Let's frickin' go. I cannot wait. Lazy Turtle, appreciate you tuning in, fam. Dankness says I'm all about lifting up my brothers and sisters. We're all in this BS together, no matter the race, sex, creed, etc. It's us versus the corrupt governments. We can win if we all stick together and glow up. 100%. I mean, that's what we have, power and strength, power and unity. If we all stand against these CBDCs, we all stand for Bitcoin, we can make a drastic change. And I think we are. And it all starts with you. You know what I mean? One person can change the world. So you got to have that faith in building. Tony Jeffries, good morning and welcome, says he's going to be meeting up with a Bitcoiner tomorrow morning. We aim to orange pill all the Liverpool eventually. Give us a shout out if you want to join us. So shout out to the UK and anyone in the Liverpool would like to attend with Tony Jeffries in this meetup. Be sure to reach out to him. I think that's fantastic. The more meetups, the better. Connect with these fellow orange pillars. You know what I mean? What would you call the pattern on the Bitcoin on the 1 hour chart? Inverse head and shoulders. Word up. And Dan Drummond says you're not getting 25,000. Sorry. Well, it's good to see that we're pumping off the back of that CPI data, currently above 28,250 and slowly but surely heading back up to 30,000. Good morning, Corky C. Good morning, Jeff S. Appreciate you tuning in. Morning, Crypto Fam. Love listening in, but love it more when I can do it live. Well, I appreciate you tuning in live. That's what it's all about. Appreciate you getting here and showing up. Bring facts. FTT. Exactly. How is FTT still not a big fat zero? Go figure. I mean, FTT, for those not in the know, is the native crypto that Scam Bankman-Fried minted using the FTX exchange, and they were ultimately stealing your Bitcoin and replacing it with ish coins such as FTT. It's shocking to me that it hasn't crashed and gone to zero. But hey, it is what it is. Jeff says, JV all clean cut and ish. That's right. I just got the fresh fade. It was long overdue, so it's about time. You know what I mean? Coinbase should move to El Salvador. They really should. And there was news that I think in Aruba, they just basically started a company because they want to start their derivatives exchange, and they can't do it in the United States. You got the regulators breathing down their necks. So now also, and with the congestion from the BRC20s, you have major exchanges such as Binance and Coinbase talking about implementing the Lightning Network. How many of you would love to see Lightning Network implemented on your favorite exchange and the top exchanges in the world? Let us know in the comments right down below. I appreciate the shout outs. Thank you for that. Will take decades to build up. If they do well, don't need banks for loans when you can get loans that live on the blockchain. An example, Maplecoin. That's what's up, Jeff S. I mean, obviously, crypto is the future. No one wants to deal with banks, especially the bankers who caused this mess in the first place. Why are we supporting our oppressors? You know what I mean? Jay Bull, welcome. Good morning. What's going on, Bitcoin Trini? Megadon says, keep in mind that after the halving in 2024, transaction fees will be more the block rewards all the time. Get us to it. That's right. We also got to point out that when the block rewards get cut in half, that's half the reward for the miners. But on the other side, the Bitcoin price goes parabolic, which is really good for the miners. So it's a give or take. FYI, I drive a tractor trailer for a living. When 12 o'clock hits the radio, turns off, and JV gets the priority. Love this family. Greatly appreciate that, Lazy Turtle. And every time I see your name, it reminds me of Entourage, because growing up, Entourage was one of my favorite TV shows I used to watch on HBO, and I remember Vince and Turtle and E and Ari Gold. Hilarious times. Probably one of my favorite shows I've ever watched, so I can't see your name and not think about Turtle. So ordinals are congesting the network, but also helping push the price up. I see it as a double-edged sword, says Dankness. Great perspective. Appreciate you sharing that. Can you have gas pressure without something to contain that gas pressure in? Says Mark G. Jim Hewitt says, how do I on-chain fees affect people to dollar cost averaging with the small amounts? I mean, it is insane, but hopefully these centralized exchanges all implement the Bitcoin Lightning Network. I think that would solve that problem right off the bat, because Lightning is the layer 2 scaling solution that ultimately can scale. You can do it virtually free and instantaneous, like super quick. So I can't see that not being implemented at all the centralized exchanges now that there is a good solid reason for them to implement it, because nobody wants to pay more money in fees than the cost of the transaction. You know what I mean? So we shall see. Bitcoin is borderless, the only way to travel with money. That's right. I thought that was hilarious when Michael Saylor was breaking that down. Go try to travel with a $100,000 gold bar. Done. Not only will they take it from you, they'll assume you're a criminal, probably arrest you and put you behind bars. That's just the nature of reality. And try traveling with $10,000, they will confiscate that as well. That's why when you're traveling overseas, you have to fill out a form that says, do you have $10,000 or more in cash? If you're stupid enough to put yes and you actually have that, they're going to confiscate it from you and probably assume you're a criminal and treat you as if you're guilty until proven innocent. However, you can theoretically have $10 billion worth of Bitcoin on a hard drive, or better yet, remembered in your mind, because you can remember the recovery seed. You can go travel the world and no one can stop you. You know what I mean? Do you understand how important it is to have a borderless money? Hopefully you do, especially during these times. So great point. In a flash, just like Max said, exactly, Mark Thomas, smash the like. I greatly appreciate that, Mark G. And if you're new to the channel, ring that bell, because once you ring the bell, you're going to get notified every day I go live, which I have to remind everyone, typically we go live every day here on the channel at 12 p.m. Eastern, but tomorrow I'm unable to make it. So I'm not going to be able to be here live on YouTube. However, for those listening to the podcast on iTunes and Spotify, I plan on uploading an MP3 episode so that we still have something. And then on the 12th, I'll be back with an episode at 5 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, again, due to my conflicting schedule. And then on the 13th, we'll be back to normal, 12 p.m. Eastern for the live show on YouTube. Hopefully, you get that clearly. If any confusion, please do let me know. Don Labrie says, overuse of the Bitcoin base layer. Transactions should use Lightning layer. Agreed. Could you, Villain says, everything on Earth divided by 21 million. Think of that market cap. Let's freaking go. You already know, fam. And the Bitcoin price action continues to pump in during today's live chat, which I love to see. Yeah. So if you dollar cost average onto the Lightning Network from, say, Coin Corner, you don't get the fees. Good to note. There you have it, a hack. Mark G, I probably won't make the party unless you move it to Florida. Why not, fam? First and foremost, this is like a 2-hour plane ride, maybe 3 hours at the max from, let's say, Tampa, Florida, where I'm from, Clearwater, right? I would use Tampa Airport. So it's like less than a 3-hour flight, and virtually you don't even need a what is it called? A passport, because it's considered a territory of the United States. And also, the price action will be 4 times the price action it is today. So what's the excuse to not come to the party? Why has it got to be in Florida? Why can't you come to Puerto Rico? Let me know. Looking forward to meeting up with Jim Hewitt in Liverpool tomorrow. That's what's up, Tony. We are going to orange pill all of Merseyside. That's what's up. JV, have I changed your mind yet to come to Miami 2023? Next, I cannot, because I have things with my daughter I have to take care of here in Puerto Rico, so I don't have that luxury to be at that event this year next week. But nonetheless, I will be tuning in from the internet on YouTube, and I will be covering the footage live so you guys know what's going on. When 50,000? Great question, Statwise Jenks. I mean, according to Credible Crypto, we're going to return to all-time highs sometime before 2024. I would love to see that happen this year. I don't know if it will happen this year, but I am very optimistic by 2024. We are at a new all-time high, above 69,000. That's the year of the halving, but I think it's going to be 2025 where we reach a multiple 6-figure Bitcoin price. We shall soon see. What are your thoughts, though? Let me know in the comments below. Bitcoin paints a bear flag. Everyone shorts it. Everyone gets liquidated. Pump it. You already know. The consensus, the market typically does the opposite of what everyone else is anticipating. So if 90% of the market is thinking one thing, lo and behold, the opposite surely will happen. Bitcoin all-time high, my year end, and 100,000 in 30 days after the halving. I would love to see that. That would be fantastic. So I hope you're right, Megadon. I appreciate you sharing. Sorry I'm late, says Greedy Savvy 1. All good. Better late than never. Appreciate you tuning in regardless. Smash that like button, says Megadon. Paul says, hey guys, better late than never. That's right. 100% agreed. A lot of weird things around Sam, like why is he not in an orange jumpsuit for starters? That's right. And did you see, as I covered in yesterday's episode, his lawyers did a dismissal to dismiss the majority of all of his felony crimes -3, some of the conspiracy related ones. It would be fascinating to see him get off the hook and not have to go to jail. I hope that's not the case. I think he should pay the price for the crimes he committed, especially considering how many people were taken advantage of. And there was no consumer protection from the SEC whatsoever. They were colluding, FTX and the regulators. So it's just a mess at the end of the day. Bring Facts says $220,000 all day, someday. You already know, fam. I'm sticking with that target as well. Also, Max has been predicting a $220,000 price target for quite some time. You know what I mean? Lightning Network has already been implemented on Kraken, which is what I use. That's what's up. A reason to be using the Kraken exchange right there. Shout out to Jesse Powell. If you have a Coin Corner wallet and you remember the seed phrase in your head, then delete the wallet. Would it still be safe as a cold wallet on the blockchain? Let me think about that a little slowly. I'm not familiar with Coin Corner so much. Is that an exchange wallet or is that a private wallet? Because I can only speak upon a private wallet. If you remember the seed phrase and you have that stored in your head, then you can recover it at any time, as these wallets such as the Trezor are open source. I don't know personally how that would work with a crypto exchange which is centralized. Are they giving you your own private wallet on that centralized exchange? Do let me know. But please don't mix up a private cold storage custody wallet with a exchange wallet. For example, like Coinbase, when you send your Bitcoin to the exchange, you got to send it to a Bitcoin wallet, but therefore you don't own that Bitcoin wallet. It's owned by Coinbase because you don't have the private keys, not your cheese. So hopefully that provides some clarification. Yeah, Liverpool is going to wake up. We already have 3 Liverpoolians, Jim Hewitt, Sean Ono Leno, and Tony Jeffries. Shout out to Sean Ono Leno, the son of the great Sean Lennon of the Beatles. I know he is big on Bitcoin as well, as Max Kaiser has orange pilled him. I think he is awesome. Traveling with Bitcoin is one of my main reasons, to be my own bank. That's what's up. If you, yeah, okay, so worked 7 days years ago over the world with my head in office in Bradenton. Yeah, Bradenton, not far from where I used to live before I moved here to Puerto Rico in 2018. I was living in Clearwater, Florida, probably an hour from Bradenton. So that's like my stomping grounds. That's what's up. First time I caught a show live, and JV is not wearing a hat. Must be a sign. Well, I just got the fresh cut. I got to rock it for at least a couple of days before I put the hat back on, right? And it's JV. V as in victory, not B as in boy, just FYI. Coin Corner is a private wallet. Good to note. Then it should work the same way, I would imagine, as other wallets, but please do clarify that. If the exchange goes down, the coins are gone in the bankruptcy, especially, yeah, if you don't own the private wallet 100%. Satwise says, if the wallet is non-custodial, all you need is your 12 words. So there you have it. And now for a recap of what I covered with you here in today's show. I broke down the latest technical analysis as Bitcoin cracks 28,250 on CPI amid warning that U.S. inflation is highly elevated. We also discussed the latest with Bitcoin trading up 80% at DBS Bank due to the crypto crashes of last year. We also discussed Bitcoin under siege by BRC20 tokens as the fees soar, claims analysts. We also discussed big news coming from Grayscale with their plan to expand their ETF businesses, putting forward 3 new crypto funds, including a spot Bitcoin ETF. Let's freaking go. We also discussed the push to launch American CBDC, central bank digital currency, will drive a feverish interest into Bitcoin, says MicroStrategies, Michael Saylor. And we also discussed Bitcoin gearing up for a parabolic rip, says crypto trader, Credible Crypto, and we discussed that target. But where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go next? Let me know in the comments.